Welcome everyone. We got an important update today. We don't think a lot of people are aware of this issue, and we think they should be. This is regarding Prion Disease. I'm at a capture slaughter facility south of Calgary today. The establishment government in Canada, the US, New Zealand, they've been allowing wild animals to be captured, basically imprisoned, and then they're slaughtered for their meat, and they're slaughtered, they get the velvet antlers off them as well. It's quite horrific what's going on. The media doesn't talk about it, really, but this disease, chronic wasting disease, is spreading throughout Alberta, Saskatchewan, through all these capture slaughter facilities, taking wild animals, and it's unbelievable, folks. Wildlife should be a protected public domain. We used to have great protection and conservation for wildlife. Now it's being exploited for financial gain, and establishment politicians are allowing this to happen. In the U.S., the hotspots are Wyoming and Wisconsin. They're just rampant with this chronic wasting disease, which is affected proteins, which get in the brain, the nervous system. It's highly contagious, highly lethal, and it's spreading throughout the wildlife. And right here, I'll just show you right here at this facility, we got these just beautiful elk, and they're confined to this small space. And these are just some of them right there. But what are we doing? And right here, I'm just at one of these facilities now. And these are some of the elk that are confined here, out of their natural habitat. And I've listened to biologists on this. They're raising the alarm bells. Apparently these capture facilities are one of the main sources of this prion disease, the chronic wasting. It's quite horrific what's going on. It's self-interest, exploitation of wildlife. And in our opinion, this should never be allowed. Never should be allowed. And they're pushing now, another thing that's coming back, it's called canned hunting, where they allow people to come onto these places and kill the animals. There's no fair chase or anything. So this is a big issue. There is the potential for the prion disease to infect humans. There's not conclusive science on that. But there is a prion disease out there that affects humans, so we'll have to see. This is getting into the food supply. And we're concerned about wildlife. If you look, we'll put up a graph, and it's just spreading like wildfire. It's spreading west into British Columbia right now. And what are they going to do? Is this a bigger plan to wipe out the wildlife? These are all the questions. Wild animals being captured and slaughtered. Yeah, basically, yes, it is. We have to call it out for what it is. The wildlife should be a public resource. It shouldn't be deemed for exploitation for financial gain. But it's being allowed at the provincial level, the state level in the U.S., and the federal level. Yes, this is south of Calgary where we are today. And this is you see the high fence they have, to keep them in. But if you understand elk, and we're looking at elk today, wild elk can travel like 20 kilometers in one day. But they're confined to what? these small living quarters here. Apparently, according to the biologists, when they're all packed together, the food, they're stressed, it contributes to them getting diseased. So there's been a lot of cases where places like this have had to slaughter all the animals because of contamination, the disease, the chronic wasting disease. And then some of them get out in the wild and they affect the wild animals. And that's what's happening now. All around these facilities, there's like a buffer of a lot of wild animals getting it. You know, we don't understand why this is allowed. It's very self-serving, greedy exploitation. And we don't think wildlife should be treated that way at all. And it's going to affect everyone. So, yeah, it's unbelievable what's going on here. To put a wild animal basically in prison and then condemn it to slaughter and then, you know, harm it by taking off its velvet antlers. It's unbelievable. It's basically evil as far as we're concerned. I don't blame the people running these facilities. Personally, myself, I would never do something like that, but it's the establishment politicians that are allowing it. Remember that. So this is the world we live in. You know, and someone made a good comment the other day, I will mention, you know, is there a bigger picture here? Because the way it's going, they're going to wipe out all the wildlife through this disease. It's spreading like crazy. The more, you know, as long as they allow these facilities, it's, you know, if they wipe out the wildlife, is that part of the agenda to get people eating lab meat and plant-based food and insects? Is that another way to take firearms away from hunters? Because they'll have nothing to hunt, right? So who knows what the bigger picture is, but it's amazing that this is allowed. It totally contradicts the whole idea of protection and conservation of wildlife. It's basically, it's amounting to exploitation of wildlife for financial gain. Unbelievable that this is going on. But here it is. It's really, really confined space. I don't understand it. But domesticating wildlife, think about it. Domesticating wildlife, it's crazy. And then we're told that they're being naturally raised. They're being naturally raised. That's an oxymoron there. Wild animals, the natural state is in the wild. Confining them like this, that's not natural. That's unnatural. And that's why we have chronic wasting disease, the Prion disease, which is spreading in, it's all over Saskatchewan. It's all over southern mid Alberta. It's on the border of British Columbia now. I know environmentalists in BC are hyper concerned about it because it's right at the border. It's only a matter of time before it enters into BC. It's all over Wyoming and South Dakota, North Dakota. It's heading into Montana, Idaho, even Colorado. So it's in Wisconsin, a lot of hunters there. It's rampant there. It's in Pennsylvania, and they got major facilities in New Zealand. The government there is claiming that there's no prion disease, chronic wasting. I don't believe them, but because they have a huge industry with livestock and meat, selling it. So, but it's only a matter of time before it's there. They basically captured a lot of the red deer there, and same thing. They're domesticating them. Yeah, Danielle, you're right. You know, what an issue to ignore. Like, this is just common sense, what I'm saying, folks. It's just common sense. But it's all connected. It's all connected, but I'm just looking at the, but this has to stop. And I'll put up a graph and it'll show you that wherever they have these facilities, you see the spread of the chronic wasting disease in the wild, basically killing off wildlife. I don't know if that's their goal, kill off all the wildlife, but they're doing a pretty good job of it. It's pretty sad world we live in. I'm sorry to share this, but this is about as low as it gets. Yeah, it's really bad what's going on. I thought we should share that, but we'll do something else on it. But this is just one of the sites there, and it's really unfortunate that this is being allowed. And is it passed on to humans? I don't know. It's possible. Some biologists say it is. Regardless, it's killing off wildlife, and that can't be a good thing. So if you care about wildlife, let's share this. Let's get it out there, because most people have absolutely no clue about this issue. But it's another one, horrific one that's out there, folks. Have a great weekend.